All right, today we are tackling a pretty wild idea. It's a theoretical, new economic system called the fourth gesture. We're going to break down what it is, how something like AI could actually bring it to life, and what it all means for the future of money itself. So, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll get into the core innovation, this idea of a reversible transaction. Then, we'll see what powers it, which is the AI catalyst. After that, we'll look at what it would actually feel like to use this system. From there, things get big. We're talking massive geopolitical implications. And finally, we'll ask the big question. If the US doesn't build this, who will? Okay, first things first, a reversible gesture. This is the fundamental piece of the puzzle, the one thing that makes this system totally different from anything we have today. So, what in the world is the fourth gesture? At its heart, it's a new kind of data operation that has something our current systems just don't, a perfect undo button. Imagine making a financial transaction and having the power to flawlessly reverse it, to roll it back without breaking the entire system. That's the big promise here. Think about our current financial world, what the source material calls a 3G system. It's basically a one-way street, right? Once a transaction is done, it's done. Trying to reverse it is messy, if not impossible. This new 4G system, on the other hand, is built from the ground up to go both forwards and backwards. And this is way more than just a neat tech feature. It's a game changer. It gives you real psychological and legal security. If there's a mistake, you can just roll it back. It proves the system is an open, auditable tool, not some kind of one-way trap. And you better believe that is absolutely crucial if you ever want to get skeptical regulators on board. But how would a system this radical ever get off the ground? Well, the answer is artificial intelligence. But AI plays two very, very different roles in this whole thing. You've got to think of it as two separate engines running the show. First, you have the internal engine. That's the brain of the operation, the architects who design the system and manage how value moves through it. Then you have the external engine. This is the commercial AI that companies like Google sell to all of us, the tool that lets regular people actually use the system. And this is where the business model gets really clever. The idea is that big tech companies get rich selling these shovels and pickaxes, the AI tools, while the system's architects manage the gold mine itself. This means the more popular commercial AI becomes, the more it fuels the growth of this entire new system. And here's the kicker. As millions of us start using AI to optimize our finances, the flaws, the friction, the sheer clunkiness of our old banks and government systems become impossible to ignore. They become painful. That mass adoption of AI acts as a revealing agent, creating this huge organic demand for something better. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Reversible quantum data operation sounds like something straight out of science fiction. How would a normal person actually use this thing? Well, that's where the user interface becomes so important. The answer is something called the US dollar. You can think of it as the tangible currency, the thing you actually see and interact with in your digital wallet. It's what takes the super abstract data concept and makes it real and usable for everyone. This quote really gets to the heart of what it would feel like to use. The source calls this feeling the flash position, this idea of an instant, always-on, real-time reflection of your entire financial picture. So picture this. You do something, make a payment, an investment, anything, and instantly, your US dollar balance updates to show your new total wealth, combining your cash and your investments into one clear number. This instant feedback, this mirror, is what gives the system a real, legally perceptible reality for you, the user. So, we have the concept, we have the AI engine to drive it, and we have a tangible interface. But when you put all of that together, you run into a massive, and I mean trillion-dollar, geopolitical problem. See, the initial idea is to evolve the US dollar into this new universal currency. But what happens if Washington gets bogged down in politics and just rejects this incredibly powerful new technology? What if they say no? Well, here's the thing about an idea this efficient and this powerful. It doesn't just disappear because one country says no. The technology won't die. It will just migrate. It will find the path of least resistance and pop up somewhere else. So if this system isn't born in the United States, then where could it go? Let's take a look at the most likely candidates to launch a new global currency using this architecture. You've basically got three major contenders.
First up, the BRICS Plus nations, who are desperate for an alternative to the current system and could see this as a powerful geopolitical weapon. Second, you could have a corporate sovereignty situation where a group of tech giants just create their own currency for the internet. And finally, the European Union, seen as a long shot, but they might be forced to act if a huge crisis hit.
Now, if you look at the analysis, the BRICS Plus option seems to be the most likely scenario, mostly because their motivation is so strong. The corporate route is also a real possibility. And the EO, well, they're kind of the dark horse here, probably only making a move if their back is against the wall. This quote from the source material just captures the whole dilemma perfectly. The argument is that this technology, this change, is going to happen one way or another. The only real question is whether it happens by design, in the White House garden, or if it grows wild in the global jungle and eventually takes over everything. And that's really the final provocative thought this leaves us with. When a new technology comes along that is fundamentally better and more efficient, how long can anyone, any company, any country, really afford to ignore it? It makes you think the real question isn't if a system like this will appear, but when, where, and who's going to be in charge when it does. Thanks for tuning in.